Welcome back, everybody, to more ASI action here on the LPL, an official English broadcast. As we're now the unofficial LCK English broadcast, I guess, because we have Nongshim, Red Forest, and Fear X. We have nothing but LCK teams left here, as we have a rematch of the season play in the first qualification match where BNK Fear X, they 3-1 Nongshim. It's so funny because earlier in the year, Nongshim had gotten the better of BNK, but as the year went on, things just kind of shifted for both sides, and Nongshim have been really on a downward spiral. They need this tournament badly to just kind of like salvage how the end of their year went, as things just got progressively worse, and they have a lot to really get through here. Two teams that they were unable to beat even recently.
Absolutely, that's the thing, right? As much as they've had themselves a pretty impressive tournament so far, they've been able to play pretty well. BNK have definitely had their number. BNK 4X have just been all over Nongshim every single time they've played, and even if you win here today, like you said, you've still got to get through D+, who look like easily the strongest team that we've got here in this tournament. Very much the favourites to win. That game will obviously be played tomorrow, a full best of 5 for that one. This one only going to be a best of 3, so you've only got a couple of chances to make this one work. And every time we've watched these two squads face up against each other, BFX, they've been able to take it down pretty quickly.
You know, thinking of like, yes, we've got the best of 5 tomorrow. Then we have Monday where the Worlds video is going to drop. And then boom, we have Tuesday. We have T1 and IG. Like, this is a great tournament because now we're going to get a nice seamless transition. You know, the Worlds video not initially going to be released on Monday. We won't really harp on that too much. We know why. But it ends up being real smooth. I like the way this has gone. You know, I must say, like, everything else notwithstanding, I miss when the Worlds video was, like, in the song, was, like, earlier. I recall it being in, like, September at times.
Gets you so
I would literally be, like, just waiting, like, to the second, you know, because I work those days, you know, most of the time when they come out. To the second, just waiting on YouTube, ignoring the responsibilities of my job. Just like, World song. That's exactly how I'm.
It was always so hyped to see. I remember Rise coming out and being like, yo, this slaps. This slaps right here. I mean, it's not my favorite one. I think it's my second favorite one. What's your favorite World song?
I'm going to get a lot of hate for this.
Good lord.
I have some bad opinions today, apparently.
If you say Star Walking
is my favorite.
No! Bad! It's a bad song!
Let me explain. I attended that Worlds. Right. I was... Okay. And I attended a couple of days because it was... group stage was in New York. So I had gone a couple of times because it's not very far from me. So every time I heard that song every time I walked in, and you know they obviously played the song a lot, and it's got core memories attached to it. That's the reason why. I actually don't mind the song as a whole. You know, there's obviously that one point of the song that really doesn't feel like a World's anthem, but like, you know, I liked it. And he started walking like, yes, my goat. Thank you. Boo, I don't have the wrong opinion. Boo. Let's go.
You can say Lil Nas X all you want. He's great. The song sucks. Like, I like his other stuff. If you'd have had any of his other songs, slapped the World Song title on it, you know, put some of the players in the background, awesome. Excellent song. Not that one. It's not happening. Absolutely.
Okay, hold on. Stop everything.
Much more important than us.
Where's he going?
I need to leave. Come on, buddy.
Yeah, is he? I have never personally seen him make an immediate about face. So it looks like BNK Fear X has been the selection from Godguo. As we all know, he only speaks correctness or lies. We'll see if that comes to pass here. Again, we expect BNK Fear X to at least have a leg up just because of the way things have gone recently for the teams. Obviously, early in the year, Nongshim had played up against BNK twice, had taken the set, I believe it was all the way back in the first few rounds of LCK. They had taken the set 2-0, but it was a way different game, a way different meta than what we have today. You know, way different team temperaments, everything like that. And in a world that is increasingly, what have you done for me lately? What we've had done lately was BNK Fear X defeat Nongshim, put them in that death spiral for their LPL season, I mean, it's got to be so crushing to know that you're going up against this team. It's your opportunity for revenge. And not only if you win, you can get revenge on D plus Kia, but if you don't get the job done here, it's going to leave you with a really bad taste in your mouth, Bloxer. Picks and bans coming at you.
Absolutely, we're going to be jumping straight on into this one. So far, nothing too surprising coming on through. Everybody is just going to be trying to ban away Azir as much as possible. Surprising it's on the other side, but it's just such a strong pickup anyway. To be honest though, we are seeing Fearx take away a lot of their favourite mid lane champions straight off of the board. They're clearly a little bit worried about Alex right here and what he's going to be able to do. For Nongshim, they've been taking quite a lot of early jungle pickups. Yeah, the Wukong being available means that's going to be high priority. Now you'd have to imagine either the Xin Zhao or the Jarvan are probably what you're going to be looking at.
Why not? Why not grab the hot pot? You know, we talk about it all the time. It's just because it's that damn good, right? I mean, yeah. It's a great combo to have, so why not pick it up? I really like the respect that BNK Fearx is showing toward Calyx. You had mentioned it just a moment ago. I mean, you know, this guy is gone toe-to-toe with some really strong mids in the LCK, in his laning phase specifically. You know, a product of Nongshim that they can really be proud of for this guy to really make an impact. I'm not sure if I'd one-to-one say here he's there, Diablo, but I mean, hey, I don't think he's quite on that level yet, but hey, he could be with a little bit more time.
He's looking really good. He's been a very, very exciting part of this roster, and especially when Vikler is one of the weaker members overall, it makes sense that you're putting a little bit of priority on towards him. I think it's very interesting that we've seen that Nico picked up right here. This is clearly a sign of respect as well towards the bot lane of Nongshim, saying, hey, we don't think we could just completely overtake you with any old picks. We're going to grab a little bit of extra priority. I mean, we've seen it from Fearx all the time, that they've left their bot lane until the last two picks. They don't think they're going to be able to do that here. Instead, they're going to slam them early on Nico Yanara, a real power lane that scales incredibly well as well. But you are now leaving your jungler and your mid laner until later on, a complete departure from what we've been seeing out of BFX previously.
And I really like Nongshim picking up that Corki early because you can still flex it. Obviously, it's kind of waned in popularity overall as a whole, but you know, just a champion that after a round of nerfs isn't really you know, best in slot like he used to be for a while. But I like it because it does give you that flexibility later on to just decide, hey, we want to check out of this pick, we'll send it in the bot lane, or hey, we want to really commit to this pick, we'll keep it in the mid lane for Calyx.
Absolutely. So moving on to the second round of bans, it will be a takeaway onto the Nautilus and onto the Vi. I have to imagine there'll be a couple more bans away onto these jungle champions. I do think taking away the Jarvan makes a lot of sense. You don't really want to get caught into that cage with these champions available to Fearx, but at the same time, maybe they're looking to get something a little bit more aggressive. We have seen Raptor pull out things like the Lee Sin if you're looking to just have a full wig and a fling ourselves at you kind of composition.
Yep, and you know, there are still good options. The Fury is even a champion he could select. I don't really think it's necessarily a good pick here, but you just, you know that you're going to get aggressiveness coming out of Raptor. We'll see if we have him on one of those power picks. Hey, who knows? Maybe even it's a Rumble jungle, right? You know, it's not good anymore, right? But maybe, who knows?
Why not pull something out, right? Anything is possible.
Let's not put that one away. That one can not show up.
It's something we were talking about in the Weibo JDG match, where the teams that you're going to lose to in odd situations are the ones who know you best, and these two teams do know each other incredibly well at this point, so you're getting really into the weeds. This is a lot less of just the standard pickups. Annie going to be the lock-in right here for Vikler. Is something that we talked about as a possible champion for him. Not something he's played so far in this tournament, but something he played a lot during the LCK regular season and play-ins and all of those different rounds that they had. Again, pretty standard, pretty safe on into the mid lane, and you're not expecting to get pushed around too much by whatever Calyx can grab. He has had a couple of very aggressive picks in his back pocket, has played things like the Akali, has even pulled out the Renekton mid. Like, he can play anything.
Well, it's going to be Galio coming through here. That'll be the mid lane pick, which means Jiwoo is going to be on this Corki. So we now await our support pick, but Bloxer, I am really curious as to see what BNK Fearx is going to pull out in the jungle. I would imagine we'll see some sort of big carry, potentially a Kiana or something like that, but you know, all right, there we go. I'm happy. I'm so happy right now. I know Prod is molding right now. I know Oak Battery's molding. Elite support has been locked in for the Hens. My goats.
There it is. there is the Jarvan that we were expecting. I think the Jarvan works so well in this composition for BFX. I'm very happy with what they've been able to grab for themselves. This is a very risky composition, right? There's a lot of squishy champions that are just looking to go in, deal their damage. For Nongshim, up until the Elise was locked in, and even with the Elise being locked in, I'm still kind of feeling it. Where the damage at, right? You've got some big tanky frontline members. Corki can certainly pump damage. The Elise will be dealing decent amounts, especially during the early laning phase. You know, Wukong does some, or a surprising amount, I guess, but it's all just like, oh, you're surprised by how much damage this champion does, rather than this damage, it hits. This is where we're at. This is what we're expecting the big plays to be coming from. I think there's a situation in which you allow BFX a little bit of an advantage early on. You don't get as tanky as you need to in some of these places, and you don't have the damage to deal back either.
Yeah, I do wonder if there's a scenario where it's like, oh, early game very heavily tilted toward Fear X, and then mid game is like, okay, Nongshim has their advantages because they're thick enough and you're starting to get these item spikes, but then BFX later on in the game is like, okay, hey, we're ahead again because we have late game Yunara. Now, Yunara is a champion that has been tapped down, as Riot likes to use in their patch notes, quite a bit. And yeah, this lack of early damage, I do think it could be a big worry. Obviously, Galio's base damages are actually okay, so maybe Nongshim is a little bit stronger early game than you and I both suspect.
It is entirely possible, and if they do just try to play as quickly as they can, get really aggressive early on, I think this can work from Nongshim, right? You love, as an Elise, to get out of the lane, an excellent diving champion. If you can go and bring the Galio along as well, either into the top lane to try to push clear back. He had a pretty rough game for the majority of it the last time he played the Rumble. That's a potential lane you can try to play through.
These are very diveable lanes, Blockster, so it's going to be on Lehens in this early game to make plays happen. Summoner's Rift, game one of this best of three between Nongshim and BFX. The winner will fight D plus Kia in the finals of the ASI in a best of 5.
Let's see it. For BFX, right? They have just come off the back of playing and beating Weibo. It was a quick 2-0, so at least they're not going to have a maximum of 6 games played today. Still, they could play the equivalent of a full series best of 5. And that is a lot to concentrate for. They did not get a long break between. As Nongshim, you were able to sit and watch previously. You've tried to spot some tendencies potentially out of BFX. So this could be a little bit of a war of attrition between these two teams. We like both of the compositions. We think there's ways to play through. I personally prefer what BFX have for themselves. It's a very them comp in how aggressive it is and about on how much it's putting on Diable to carry you through.
One thing that I've always wondered, if, you know, obviously it's not quantifiable, is like, what's the benefit that you have by coming in and already playing your series, right? You're already loose. Yeah. You're immediately ready to go. As
you're feeling good as well.
I've seen an Elise recall come out here for Lehens. Okay, yep.
Is he going to go straight to top side? Yep. Immediately heading up towards top side. We've been seeing a lot of these lane swaps, right? You're just trying to get yourself some slightly easier laning phases. But I think you're perfectly happy in this situation as BFX as well. You're allowing this Yunara and Nico to kind of just sit, farm up, not having too many worries. Yeah, you're ending up with Clear getting pushed quite far back, but I think that's less important. In the overall hierarchy of needs for BFX, getting Clear ahead is significantly lower than allowing Diable to just have a free early laning phase. You're also now going to unlock Kellen as well to head towards the top side too and potentially try to make things happen up there. Both junglers moving in opposite directions. Gideon, he's going to be heading towards the top side of the map. This is what you need to do when you've got this lane swap on.
Lan's just waiting for things to wear off so he can walk himself up there. He is still level 1 right now, but will eventually get up in levels just a little bit. I do like that they are going to attempt to attack Clear early on because of how much he struggled. This is a good opportunity for Clear to right the wrongs that he had in his last game on the Rumble. We'll see if he's going to be able to do so. Lehens is going to come up and immediately miss a cocoon. It looks like me out there.
Just a little bit of pressure. Also took him a really long time to actually get up into that lane. Took a while just poking around, having a look. Raptor looking for a gank.
Okay, we're going to see Vikla take a little bit of damage, but Calyx is going to be able to get that phase rush and walk himself out of there. And so far, all is quiet. But now we have a true 2v2 on the top side, which I think does benefit BFX a lot.
Yeah, they're going to be perfectly happy with that, and then they're also happy with what's happening bot lane. Again, Diable just free farming up against this Ornn. This is going to be absolutely fine for him too. BFX, they're definitely getting the better side of this one. Cocoon does land decent damage onto Kellen.
Big damage onto Kellen as he is forced to flash away. He does have the heal still available. Diablo's gonna get knocked up here. Big damage coming out from Kinging as his jungler is gone. Diablo's jungler is gone. Kinging with the solo bolo.
Yeah, so when I said that there's a surprising amount of damage that an Ornn can do, everybody
Surprise!
thinks these champions as an assassin. Yep, that's really unfortunate for Diablo. He's got himself a free lane. You just have to be careful to not get yourself caught by that knock-up. Clearly, that's not what ended up happening. I have to imagine that a couple brittle procs came through as well. That can be the big damage too. To die pre-level 6 as well, that's really, really rough to see for Diablo.
The revenge of the Nongshim. It's their time. They want to knock off BFX real bad. At least Kingin does. It's like, yo, these guys have nothing on me. Former world champion. See if he's able to really make his mark on this Ornn in this game. As that was a very funny interaction. We just had our mid laners staring at each other after a stun and a taunt went down.
Yep, just, not looking for anything too much more. Oh, good stun again.
Ooh. Yeah, big damage. That's going to hurt. Calyx is going to have to walk
flash.
out. He does have that flash. And okay.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that was shrewd.
Yep, love it from him. Knew that he still had that Shield of Durand up and available to just absorb that last little bit of damage, not flashing away there. Getting the flash out of Vikla is going to be massive, and as Vikla right now, you've got to be a little bit careful. Calyx does have enough damage to take you out. If you get that full rotation of spells off, it is going to force Vikla back to base. Still, BFX, they're going to be able to grab themselves this first Drake nice and easily. A Hextech as well, a brilliant individual Drake to be able to grab.
All right, well, hold on. Gideon might have something to say about it. Gideon's going to sneak in. He's going to try to steal this one. He's going to go right after Raptor. There will be no smite fight. Okay, wait. Raptor's going to walk back up. Who's going to secure it? And it's secured by Gideon. Here comes Lehen's flash cocoon onto the correct one, but it's not going to mean anything. Wow.
Okay, that's some big aggression right there that we weren't necessarily expecting. Raptor just has his opponent walk up, steal it away. I think part of that is because BFX didn't decide to send any other members over to him. He was left completely alone, and early on at this point in the game, with a Ruby Crystal and a Longsword in inventory, this Jarvan does not do a lot of damage to the Hextech Drake, and it just took way too long to fall.
Oh, here's Raptor. He's lying in wait. They're going to try to make a play, but Jiwoo is going to be able to Valkyrie away.
Okay. Early on, this game been pretty explosive despite the fact that we've only got one kill. Small gold advantage coming through for Nongshim because of being able to grab themselves that Drake and a couple little CS leads here and there as well. But overall, things have been moving slowly and steadily. Gotta be honest, you are not too bad about this one as Nongshim. You're trying to get yourself up to that first couple of items, then you really want to press your power forwards, but up until this moment, 7 minutes into the game, they have been able to weather the storm and not get themselves caught out in any silly situations.
Yeah, just the one problem is this Elise pick is not having its intended effectiveness so far, right? I mean, showed up a couple of places and a couple of okay cocoons, but really nothing more. You got Kellen's flash earlier. That's going to come back up shortly. You really need to start notching some kills and or assists to really maximize its effectiveness. Perhaps in 40 seconds at these grubs is where we could see Lehen's go and make a play for Nongshim.
Absolutely possible still. You would have liked to have seen it pop off earlier on. You're absolutely correct. Because in terms of these big straight up 5v5 team fights, Kellen should be far more effective than an Elise could ever hope to be, no matter how many kills you have. Still, the big team fights are going to be very interesting back and forth. There's a lot of multi-man CC abilities for Nongshim. There's a lot of multi-man CC abilities for BFX as well. And so who has early positioning around these objectives is going to be critical. The battle over the vision is something we're going to have to track very closely.
Looks like most of Nongshim is already in position in the river. However, BFX does have a lot of members around, 4 members apiece on each top side, clear and kinging without teleport. So this will be a 4v4 unless one of them started walking about 15 seconds ago. Gideon's going to secure the first one. It doesn't really look like BFX is overly interested in going for even one of them.
Interesting that they are just going to let this happen to them. I mean, they don't really face a composition with massive pushing potential. There's not some huge split pushing threat that you're now giving 3 grubs over to. And you are also just a little bit weaker overall at this point in the game trying to go for this fight. So I like the fact that they step back, allow this one to happen, don't feel the need to go and fight. This is how you can tell that we've knocked all the LPL teams out.
There's an equalizer, but it's not really going to do anything. As here we go. We may have found Diablo. Diablo going to be in a lot of trouble. A lot of damage coming out, and there we go. We see Lehen's make his mark as Jiwoo is going to get his first of the game.
Can I make a semi-serious prediction for you right now?
Sure.
I predict that Diablo is going to win MVP this game. Despite the fact that this has been a pretty rough early game,
This is
I
a
just
bold
feel like
proclamation.
this guy's so cool at being able to pull back from what looks like a massive...
Oh,
no.
It's the unstoppable on the flag and drag. Kingen plays that one beautifully.
Yo, that's so nice right there. I mean, the way the King is able to just escape from that is really nice, well buffered through. And this is now just going to be him quickly taking away this wave. Unlikely that any full dive is going to happen. He knows that he's got Gideon on the way as well. Have a look back at what happened top lane. Right. Doesn't realize that Lehens is
so
still in
easy.
that brush. So easy, yeah. That's just cocky, right? That's Diablo thinking he can step up, not really checking where people are on the map, not expecting there to be an Elise in the bush. I mean, if you miss that cocoon, right, then you wouldn't be playing at this level. Very easy pickup.
We take those. As right now, Nongshim winning this early game out pretty well here. Corgi is going to be flashless, so could be something for BFX to consider as we're really waiting for them to make their impact. Now, remember, they do have the Rumble Jarvan combo. They have a Pop Blossom once Kellen hits level 6. They're going to have Tibbers as well. I mean, there is a lot of splash for BFX if they're able to really land their minimal CC in a fight. They can really go crazy.
Absolutely. They are in a spot to just kind of wait out these early plays, weather the storm that they are facing a little bit, and then come back quite strong. I mean, that's also something that BFX have been very good at throughout the entirety of this tournament, right? Sometimes you get 50 minutes into the game, you're like, wow, kind of looks like they're losing. And then all of a sudden they find that one snap engage, that one excellent team fight, Dabble pops off, Vikla hits a big shockwave or something, and things can turn around. Still, you don't want to give away too many of these objectives. Giving over an early Ocean as an individual Drake, also pretty rough.
Walls are closing in here. Kellen with a good root onto 2 members. Jiwoo going to take a lot of damage here, but is still above half HP. They're going to look for Lehens. Teleport came in as Kingen is ready to use that. Call the Forge God. Forces a flash away. Doesn't get the knockup. Over on the backside, Gideon with knockups coming through. Raptor able to flag and drag out as they turn it around on Lehens and take him out. Kellen gets credit for that kill. Here comes Galio trying to buy some space as BFX are in hot pursuit. Diablos uses ultimate big 3-man knockup as they look for the turnaround. Taunt onto 2. Big damage, but Diablos able to find 1, and he's healthy. And they're going to be able to take down Gideon. Kingen will fall next. It's a double kill for Diablo. Blocks her. Oh my goodness, you could be a prophet.
I just have that feeling, right? Diablo on a champion like the Yanara is so good at popping back off. But gotta say, he was late as to that fight. He was heading back to base to go grab that Kraken Slayer, and that's the critical difference. Look in the base right now. Yanara, Diablo, walking out. So all of this is happening without your newly Kraken Slayered up ADC. And this initial play is just so split. Kingen goes forwards because of course he does. He thinks he's potentially got a catch onto multiple members, misses the last little bit of knockup, and Vikla just dumps damage over onto the support. Yeah, you don't usually want to full kill the support, but in this case, versus an Elise, perfect. And it's also just buying time for Diablo to get here. There was a moment where, you know, it felt a little bit risky. This is a good knock-up into Flash Taunt, but it doesn't matter. There's not enough damage. It's a little bit too late for the members, for Gideon specifically, to get back into this one. Diablo's able to open up, and yeah, 2 kills for him.
It's one of those plays where you baited your team because you made such a nice individual play there. Yeah. Kingen with that huge knockup made Nongshim say, hey, we can win this fight. No, nope. You cannot. It was not meant to be there. As now BFX are firmly ahead. Yeah, they're down 2 dragons, but they've got a 1,300 gold lead. Herald coming up in about 2 minutes. Unara has a lot of gold. 1.5 items starting to get ahead.
And that was also a full 1,000 gold swing as well. Diablo was down by 500 in comparison to Ju, so it's nice for him to be able to pull himself back into this game, as these first items pretty much coming on through. It's going to be a Kanik for Kingen, so he is clearly very worried about the matchup versus Clear and Vikla. That does mean he's going to be pretty vulnerable to Diablo once we get into these big team fights once again. The next one, probably not for another minute or 2. We've got the Rift Herald spawning up in a minute 30 seconds time, and we've seen multiple times actually where the first team to these objectives gets bullied off of it quite badly.
We'll see if that continues. It might be very hard if BFX get there first, right? Because their ultimates are just so powerful when they control space. It might be difficult for Nongshim to really force them away. We'll have to see how this develops. 1 more minute until this Herald is up. We're seeing a lot of vision getting placed on the top side of the map from both teams. So well aware of who is where. Is Raptor on a ward right now? They know, hey, jungler's on the bot side. Let's try to do something up top.
Yeah, they've got a couple of pings going on, but Clear is, well, was recalling, has actually decided to cancel out onto that one. We'll see if he ends up regretting that decision. Is going to spot out Gideon onto the ward and turn tail and run. Still, that does leave you with quite a lot of damage onto this tower, potentially. With all 3 grubs grabbed by Nongshim, they're going to be able to just rip straight through this one and grab themselves that first tower of the game. That's also going to secure Nongshim the feats of warfare as well.
Well done on their part. A nice move. You don't really lose anything for it, but this does mean that you are getting chased out of the area first. Gideon is already taking a little bit of damage. It's nothing to be too worried about, but it could certainly be a differentiating factor. Raptor is a level up, and they are pinging. It's Gideon starting to maybe get worried as Vikla is going to walk up, but he ults the clone.
Oy, oy, oy. Well,
Blue buff secured.
True.
Worth.
Big. Raptor and Vikla are now going to have blue buff. Exactly. Thank you, Yanni. I was looking for something good to say about that one, and yeah, correct.
I got you.
On the secure. It's all good. Yeah, it happens. Still, Nongshim, they are getting bullied around a little bit, right? Not able to pick themselves up these objectives, getting pushed back. They are going to be able to start up this Rift Herald, though, and with resets coming through from Raptor, from Dabble, everybody heading on back to base, right? It looks like it's just going to be a full reset out of BFX. They have shown a lot of restraint throughout this game. They have let quite a few objectives go. All 3 of the grubs, the Herald as well now. That's part of the reason why they've lost out onto that feat of warfare. We'll see if that comes back to bite them later on.
Yeah, they are 0 for objectives right now, but I think they've determined, hey, it's time to break the dragon stacking, so they're going to head down there first. Tibbers should be up shortly. Remember, it's got a pretty low duration when Tibbers himself expires. So Vikla will be ready with this flash in 8 seconds to go make a play, but this dragon has already been started. Calyx is going to TP into the mid lane. We're going to see Herald come down for Nongshim, but this dragon is not low, so maybe it's their opportunity to get in here. Lehens is going to hop in the robot, get this crash off.
Oh, Lehens.
He's going to get rooted,
okay,
but he's well shielded. Good damage down to have
Oh,
HP. Kelly getting in there. Pop Blossom lands onto 2. There's the Cataclysm. Lehens dies, and now Diablo is free hitting on multiple members. He will get knocked up, but nobody's on him yet, so he's still chasing him down. Here's Clear getting in there. He's overheated, doing a ton of damage. Diablo getting very low, but he's able to dash out and survive after killing the Corki. Does Clear want anything more? It looks like he's going to play it safe. Blast Cone away, 3 for 2 in favor of BFX.
And BFX get to snap engage right there really nicely. Gellin absolutely beautiful with the Pop Blossom. Flash Pop Blossom, one of those engage tools that just is so fun to watch. And it all comes off the back of what always felt like a bit of a risky engage, right? Lehen's going in on the Rift Toad. It's very predictable where you're going to come back out from it. And at this point, he's already so low. Yes, he's able to dodge away from that initial bit of damage because of the repel, but Diablo says absolutely not. Flashes on forwards. And as with all team fights, right, just watch as Diablo makes his way through this one. Every single time he gets a little bit caught out, he doesn't care. He keeps going forwards the whole time. He is playing on a knife's edge.
It's another nice individual play by... Oh, hang on. Wait, the bug got squashed immediately, and BFX come roaring out the gate, finding 2 more. Those both onto Kellen, and now the dragon is theirs with impunity.
So, Yanni, when you were excited for the Elise support, were you expecting this kind of Elise support?
I was not expecting this Elise to go hop in the Rift Herald and immediately die.
Yeah, this has been unfortunate. I think part of this is because of the lane swap. Part of the reason that the Elise is so strong is because of what you can do in the 2v2 in the bot lane.
Yeah.
Get a ton of dives off. But you decide to lane swap out to give yourself a slightly easier Corki matchup. Fine. I can understand that, but then why have you got the Elise? It's just a little bit of an odd decision-making here, and yeah, this is going to be Gideon dying.
Oh, Gideon's dead.
Yeah,
this is falling apart for Nongshim. I mean, they were ahead, but they have lost the plot. Diablo is 5-2-4, You know, I love your release point. I think you're so right. I mean, this champion is objectively at level 1 very weak, right? Because if you're not going Cocoon and you're starting your Q, you don't have any setup. Level 2 is where she gets a little bit more of her damage, right? You know, obviously you can land the Q, hop into spider form, land the venomous bite. But the longer you delay that, the higher level that your opponents get, the more health that they get, the harder it is to actually chunk them out and do enough to actually get kills. And we saw, you know, the one play happen up top, but that's it. That's the only impact that Lehens has had.
Yeah, and this is really unfortunate whenever you pick up the Elise. If you don't get far enough ahead, what do you really give? This is the problem Elise jungle and Elise support run into. If you fall behind, you are very squishy. As you said, Squish the Bug becomes a pretty easy game to play for BFX, and you don't give anywhere near as much as just a general standard engaged support would. A Nautilus will always have a hook to give. Yes, you've always got a Cocoon, but is that really going to be big enough? Oh boy.
Getting engaged again. On. He's not going to be able to slide out of there. He is going to die. It is Kellen getting another kill. It's this Elise dying. All right. Oh, hold on. Jiwoo. All right. He's able to Valkyrie away. I would like to make a public apology. I'm going to make it a public apology to Alk Battery because I inted him about as hard as Lehens is doing right now for his team the other day in a flex queue game. I'd like to make an apology to my 80 carry on Heartstuck Casterlo Slayer, who I've been saying, guys, we must play Elise support. I'd like to make an apology to my coach, Coach Quacks. Yeah, bro, you know what? Maybe this pick is just not as good as it once was. I'm going to leave it to solo queue only. I'm never going to pick this thing in competitive. My bad, guys. I had a poor read. This is why we do not trust play-by-plays.
It's alright, don't worry about it. It's still interesting, right? It spiced this game up a little bit, but it definitely has not worked out. BFX, off the back of those 2 mid lane catches, are going to turn around and grab themselves the Atakan as well. They are in firm control of this game, up by about 5,000 gold at this point, so fully in control. It's now going to be 2.5, very close to 3 items for Diablo, but I gotta be honest, as much as I said earlier, Diablo MVP when he was down 0-2, right now, Kellen MVP. He has been absolutely popping off so far on this Nico.
Well, but that doesn't fit your narrative. You are correct. Kellen has had a very large impact. His Tangle Barbs, I think the Tangle Barbs have been the highlight of his play. I mean, he's had good Pop Blossoms, but he's had some really good Tangle Barbs. And, you know, when we're talking about the other impact ability as opposed to the big splashy ultimate that catches a lot of people, you know you're doing something right.
Absolutely, he's just been really solid so far in this game. Constantly annoying as well, throwing clones out, just blocking a lot of these key spells too. It's another reason why the Nico's so good.
Oh my goodness.
Again chunked out.
Yeah, I mean, he's just down so many levels, right? Especially with that Otacon. There's a Pop Blossom. It's just on to Gideon, but that's all you need. Calyx is going to be next. Oh my goodness, a flash from Diablo. He's just going crazy right now. Didn't get credit for that kill, but he damn well deserved it. Svikla looking for a bit of a flank here. Call the Forge God coming through his king and says, I will do everything I can to try to keep this game close. But he is stuck on an island right now. Vikla getting close, dropping the bear on his head. As he escapes with just a sliver, man. It's one of those games. BFX are running over Nongshim.
The only reason that isn't a Baron turn is because this is only 22 minutes into the game and there's no Baron to go to. It's just going to be some resets, extra gold for the BFX members. I guess the only saving light in that one is that Diablo did end up dying. He went a little bit too hard, too forwards. But this is part of the problem that I think teams run into whilst playing BFX. They are throwing everything in the kitchen sink and trying to kill Diablo to start every single one of these fights. And if he survives, you have just pulled yourself way too far forwards. And every single time that you do that, the remaining members still are able to turn around. Diablo's still absolutely pumping the damage right here. This is just him stepping 1-2 tick forwards. He's very close to being out of the tower range right there. Good knock up from King in to at least trade it back for 1, but going to be tower, going to be 4 kills as well. And BFX are in firm control of this game.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I don't know how they lose this one, my friend. I think that they're just way too far ahead at this point. Corky is not going to take over the game. He has already hit his apex, and 2-2-1 ain't going to get the job done. Your Elise is forced to go Merc Treads just because of the sheer amount of magic damage that you're seeing. You're not going to have any damage there. Calyx is just dead. Yep. It's going to take a little while to kill him, but Raptor is luckily there to make it easier.
And this was the other problem that I had with this Nongshim composition was where was the damage, and we're really seeing it borne out. If everybody lands their damage onto Diablo, yeah, you can be able to kill him, but they do not have enough damage to rip through every single member unless a team fight goes absolutely perfectly, and we just haven't seen that yet. It's been really, really rough to watch so far, and you've just got to find these perfect little engages out of Nongshim. Otherwise, BFX, they're just going to be able to keep running this one on through. Right now, pushing through the bottom lane is Vigler. He should get responded to by a couple of people, but the rotation's pretty slow, actually.
Bloxer, what is the perfect engage here? Because BFX just has so much damage coming out of everybody, right? I mean, with all of these magic damage dealers on the side of BFX, Nongshim has had to go into MR, and, you know, that even means that Raptor, while he's now getting his second item completed, is going to be dealing a lot of damage. There's really not that much armor for him to have to get through. So what does a perfect Nongshim engage look like? What does a perfect team fight to them look like in order to get them back in the game?
Lehen's flash cocoon onto Diablo, lands it,
Yep.
and then you need Gideon in that brings Kylix in with the ulti, that brings Kingan's ulti over the top. It's not this. This is not the perfect engage. Even if Raptor seems caught, he's chilling.
Raptor was on his own. Jiwoo was going to get targeted and dead. Call the Forge God finds too, but Lehens is running scared because he knows this fight is cooked. Triple kill,
What?
quadra kill. Oh, Lehens. God.
Every single time, I gotta say, of all the players I've ever watched play these kind of champions, and we've watched a lot of great ADCs this year. This has been the year, I think at least the split of the ADC for me in the LPL. I've never watched a player who I'm more thinking, is he gonna get a penta every single time? Raptor, okay, he's chilling.
Kellen had to use his rocket ball to get a little bit closer to make sure his AD carry and his jungler to top.
Lavau. Well, they're good at team
Let's
fighting,
take a look
maybe
at
they're not
this
so good at
replay.
taking the Baron. Yeah, watching this one through, you were right to be a little bit worried for Raptor, but as you highlighted perfectly a couple minutes ago, he's way tankier than you're otherwise thinking, and this is just such a chill fight for Diablo, despite the fact he's literally in the middle. You usually want your ADC on the edges, firing.
Where he wants to be.
He's sat right in the middle. He does not care. He's got himself the shield bow up. He's chilling, and that's now going to be the Baron in BFX's back pockets. They're looking to end this game.
Damn, this guy has gone crazy. I mean, you said he was going to be the MVP by the end of the game. Well, at 10-3 and 8, I think you're actually right. You might be the new Godguo.
It's possible. It's possible. There's just something about this guy. I don't know. I am still feeling Kellen in this one. He has been really nice.
Calyx!
Bro, you have to go in at some point.
Poor King
There
is
he
like,
goes.
brother, please. Oh, he's already dead. And then the last time for Vikla to get there clear is going to go golden. This turret is going to fall, so it's going to stop putting in damage. Oh my god, he sold him up the river. He sold him up the river.
If that doesn't perfectly encapsulate this game, BFX, they're going to finish this first game off nice and quickly. It's going to be an under 30 minutes game. It's going to be on Joey Lehens and Gideon to try to make this last a little bit longer. Final stand.
There's a final stand. Vikla's gone golden. Yeah, there is no final stand. They are firmly smacked down in their seats. BFX are not going to find the ace that they wanted because Lehens will once again prioritize his life and therefore his very weak KDA as BFX lead the series 1-0.
What a game. I'll say it. What a stupid game that was. I had so much fun watching that. It feels like I'm back. I'm back down in Group Nirvana. I'm watching Thunder Talk play. I mean, what joy that was. What a game.
Yeah, you know, that was a game. That was a game of League of Legends. I was very sad to see the Elise play go that way, but I mean, listen, whenever I get to watch Diablo play, I mean, like, this guy just continues to show up and show out, right? It's just fun to watch, and I mean, his team played around him really well, but I mean, this guy just in really difficult situations where you're like, hey, the average AD carry would be like, maybe I should get out of here. He just thrives in that. He just doesn't care. Yeah. And, you know, like, the last fight, it's a good example, but you were already very far ahead, right? You don't really need to be afraid. I think of that earlier fight around the Dragon Pit where, you know, Kingan finds this big knock-up and Diablo gets caught in it, and he just doesn't care.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to go back at the end of this tournament and find some screenshots of positions Diablo is in mid-team fight, because he's literally in and amongst everybody. And this is after he was sprinting it in the early game. He was getting absolutely torn to shreds over in the side lanes, constantly pushing a little bit too far forwards, being a little bit cocky. But that's what you are like when you're this kind of player, and you know the levels to which you can pop off. While we're watching these replays...
that's that fight.
Yeah.
This is the fight that I'm talking about.
So
How?
I know,
so if I tried to do that,
dead.
I would have died instantly.
I understand. What I would like during these fights is don't look at Diablo, because he's so much fun, he really draws the eye. Try watch what Kellen's doing throughout all of these fights, because he has been incredibly effective. Obviously, he kicks this one up with a pop boss, but every single fight, as you were saying, he's landing the tangle barbs, he's landing the pop boss.
There's another one.
He's so annoying the whole time. Every single time somebody's throwing out a straight line skill shot, like, I don't know, a cocoon, clone. You've hit the clone. Cool. Not doing any damage. He's so frustrating to try to play against. I think he would be my pick for MVP in this game.
Wow. Even after you staked your claim on the BFX 80 carry.
I'm going to be happy either way. If it's someone else, I'll be sad.
Yeah, this is, again, ethical MVPs. We talk about them a lot. Either one, I'm with you on that. I think Kellen, unfortunately, the shine of Diablo kind of took away from Kellen in this game, but he damn well deserves it. I think you are correct in that. We'll see who they give it to. Whatever it is, I just really hope it's not unanimous, because then that means I think we messed up.
Yeah, this has been a very even split of game, right? As much as we are talking about this bot lane and really highlighting them, I don't think it was badly played out of anybody. I think Clear had a much better Rumble performance in this game than he did in the previous one. He wasn't hitting any big crazy equalizers, but he was just constantly dealing the damage that he needed to. And Vikler, yeah, he had a couple iffy moments, but he was doing his job. There's only so flashy that you can be on an Annie pick. Yeah. This was everybody from BFX stepping up when they needed to and just finding a way to get a victory.
Clear was actually able to play the game this time, compared to the last game where he was, 0-3-1 at one point. I mean, they just went and they killed this poor man on repeat. Luckily, this game, that was not the case. There was no, there were opportunities, sure, but Nongshim were unable to make it happen. I mean, again, that goes back to the Elise being a little weak earlier. They weren't really able to pressure that Rumble early on, especially when Kellen showed up. I mean, and that was that, right? I think Kellen, the more and more I think about it, Kellen really would deserve an MVP this game for the sheer pressure that he put out and what he forced Nongshim to do and what he forced them not to do.
I mean, to be fair, there is a reason that coming into today, the Nico was 90% banned? 70% banned. There we go. 70% banned. Letting this champion through is kind of insane, and especially letting it through in game 1, right? We usually see it as a game 3. We're kind of getting pushed to the edges. We don't know what we're going to pull out, pick up.
Nice.
I think that is the correct decision. As much as it would have been very funny to have predicted when he's down 0-2 to have MVP for Diablo, Kellen absolutely deserved this one. This was a monster Nico performance.
Yeah, he did really have a great game, and credit to him. It is kind of hard in a world of other roles to there we go, to get an MVP. 4 out of 5, exactly as we predicted. Blockster, this was a really good job done by the MVP voting committee. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna head to another break. When we return, BNK Fear X looking to put themselves in the finals of ASI. Nongshim looking to force a game 3. We'll see you on the other side. Welcome back, everybody. I really love that we're rifling through these games and these breaks, to be honest with you, Blockster. It's nice, especially because, you know, it is the sun's starting to peek out outside.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I got a 3-hour nap in. Actually, let's call it what it really was. It was like 2.5 hours before hopping on. So, like, you know, anything that we could do to prevent a lot of downtime is always a positive for me.
Yeah.
It always helps out, you know, and you know, this helps too. Not sponsored, but
That's fair. Hey,
you
I
know.
mean, this is very clearly them just trying to prep all the North Americans up for what's going to be a rough world schedule. I think that the IG T1 game is scheduled for 9 o'clock in the morning my time, which means it's middle of the night for you guys. Yeah, it's gonna be rough. But hey, the game. I think
I saw that earlier too. I mean, you know, for people like us on the broadcast over in North America, you know, if we want to do it, we can. We've done it for a long time. But for the average fan, it's going to be tough unless you were really, really getting up early for work. I mean, even the day that I go into the office at my job once a day, or once a week, I should say. And my office day, I got to be in at 6 in the morning. I got to clock in at 6 in the morning. Even then, it's 5 a.m. when I get up. Like, I'm not even getting up at 4 a.m. And there's a lot of people who, you know, they start work at 9 in the morning. So, you know, you're able to maybe catch the tail end of Worlds. I must say, I've been always happy when I hop in my car and I don't even turn on the radio. I don't turn on the radio. I don't listen to Philadelphia Sports Talk. I don't listen to my music. I listen to the unofficial LPL English broadcast whenever I'm heading in. I listen to ASI whenever I'm heading in. It's always a great time, and it's going to be nice on Mondays when Worlds comes around. And I'll be listening to Worlds on my drive to work. But that's neither here nor there, as Nongshim are going to have to put in some work in order to knot up the series and finish their revenge tour. To be honest with you, they haven't even started the revenge tour, given the fact they're down 1-0 in the series.
Yeah, Nongshim really going to need to step up into this one, because this is a BNK Fearex on a roll. They have been incredibly impressive today. Even though their early games haven't been the strongest, I think that's possibly what's going to come back to bite them if they do make it through and they end up in their matchup versus D+. D+ can just take over a game at the very beginning and run it all the way through. But as long as they are not too far behind in the first couple of minutes, it feels like Fearex can just pull back so easily. So what can Nongshim do to get themselves ahead early and then hold on to that lead? I think personally, the Elise being banned because of Fearless is a good thing. I wasn't a massive fan of that one, and it didn't really bear out that well. I think when this team have looked best, they've played more through their mid lane. Calix on the Galio has been good on this champion, but they doesn't unlock him to be able to carry the team.
I mean, what's he supposed to do, man? They banned everything. They just threw every single ban at him.
They did.
Like, that's so rude, man. Like, that's so crazy rude. Like, I can't believe that they would do that. I mean, I understand why they wanted to win big time, but, you know, I guess that when Calix is one of the few bright spots that you really expect to carry, then I guess that makes sense, right? I think that Kingen, if you put him on carries, he'd do just fine, but, you know, then you don't get that engage out of the top side, right? And, you know, and then you're forcing Lehen's on engage. Again, like, Lehen's struggled most of the year. Him and Jiwoo have not really had great years outside of LCK Cup. You know, it was Nongshim peaked really early in the year. You think of teams that we have over here like Thunder Talk and like NIP, who peaked really early on. That's kind of been the same story that Nongshim have had. I mean, they had a really difficult stretch when they were playing against all the great LCK teams. They went 2-22, I think. Might have been 2-24. I don't remember the exact number. 2-24 in Legend Group. Gen G, HLE, T1, and KT played them all in best of threes. 12 best of threes. They went 2-24. That's, you want to know? I know how bad doing that something like that is. I do. Back in the day, I'm an old head. I'm 30 years old. I played game battles on the Xbox. For those who do not know, it was a website. It was early esports, essentially. It was a website where you could team up with your friends that you pub stomp people with in Call of Duty and go play in actual matches. And there was a ladder and everything. And if you got to a certain point of the ladder, you'd get money and stuff like that. We played 39 games blocks, or we went 3-36. We were pub stompers and we stunk. And you know how bad it was? We were like, guys, we cannot do this again. We're going to all forget that this ever happened. These guys are professional players. They can't just forget that ever happened.
No, this is on your record forever. And it's got to weigh a little bit heavy, right? Especially at this moment when you're facing off against a BFX squad that you've come face to face with a lot, and most recently knocked you out of any hope of qualifying for Worlds, for getting to that final dance where maybe they could have made it all the way through, right? This has got to feel real rough, and to be on the ropes right now already, that's quite a tough situation to be put into. They decide to go towards the Talia as the first pick. Again, something that Calix has been very comfortable on, but also that he can carry on. Yes, I'm very happy to see this one. I'm now very much wondering what it is that Vikla's going to decide to play, because he's had basically every single one of his champions taken away by his team in this game.
We're going to see Smolder come through here, so you know, we need a little bit of early punch here for Nongshim, or else we're just going to sit back and relax. I like this Alistar pick. It's not great into Trundle because of the ultimate. However, if you are just trying to play keep away and buy some time for your team to be able to front to back, I think that there are applications here, Bloxer.
Absolutely, and you don't really think of Vikla as a particularly, oh, he's going to take away the Silas in this game, and now we can't play this composition out. That's not really Vikla's bag. He's very much been about these more control mages in the mid lane, has not been playing too impressively for the majority as well. Is just going to go towards the Ahri. Yep, something a little bit more within his wheelhouse. It worked perfectly well into this Talia. Can follow the roams quite quickly too, so this could be something fun. And I think also you've got to think about just how good the Trundle is at early ganking. You pair that up alongside a roaming Ahri, and you can make these side lane plays work very effectively.
Yeah, they're really going to have to attack Jiwoo this game to set him behind early and make life really hard on the Smolder. Make it so he's not able to stack effectively, that you're going to have to wait, you know, a long time, maybe 25 minutes before he finally gets those stacks. Make sure he doesn't have the gold to have these items to really take advantage of those stacks. Second half of bans coming through. We're seeing a Caitlyn ban come out, a champion that, you know, has been picked sometimes, but not really seen as... you know, whenever I want to play Caitlyn, it's always a great time. I like Caitlyn as a champion. Whenever I have to play against Caitlyn, I absolutely hate everything in the world. So if I was Nongshim, I would also want to ban that one too.
Makes a lot of sense, and the Rakan as well going to go off of the board, something that Kellen has really liked to grab for himself. So are we going to get that ADC counter pick coming through that we've seen relatively often, or is it going to be something a little bit different? In terms of things that he really likes to play, the Kai'Sa is something that we've seen a lot of Diablo play for, and that has looked really good, although I think you are in a sort of play composition where you can have a bit more of a chill time if you want to sit back on something like the Jinx on the Jhin. Although
Kai'Sa, though.
Yeah, you could, or the Zeri. That was going to be the other thing to say. The Zeri is the sort of champion where you scale super well, but also you can get aggressive a little bit earlier on, and we've seen it as something that Diablo absolutely loves. It's very much his kind of champion.
Gonna try to go ban for ban with Jiwoo here, unless that's a Smolder top. Who knows? I have my doubts, but that would be fun. That would mean that Nongshim is might be waving the white flag, though. To be honest with you, but who knows? We might see Smolder in the top side regardless. With the advent of lane swaps, Vladimir is going to be the lock-in. Okay. I have not seen a Vlad played professionally since Flandra did it earlier in the year. I think he did it as an Aurora counter early on in the top lane, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it's been a while. Like, it's been a really long time since I've seen a Vladimir at this
That was
level,
lane swap split. Like, even.
Yeah, like, it was a while ago, and they're gonna grab themselves
what
the Kiana too.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? I can answer that question,
work.
Yanni. I can answer that question. Nongshim are throwing everything that they have left at the dartboard because this is them done for a while. Like we've been saying, right? You get knocked out here, you're done pretty much for the entirety of the rest of the year. And so, hey, throw what you've got remaining out. It is going to be the Lulu to round things out. Kellen, more of an engaged support player than an enchanter player, but his Lulu has still been fine, and it works really well in this composition. BFX, I would say they have a composition, and Nongshim are throwing dartboards at a wall.
They're throwing the full dartboard. They're not even throwing the darts. They're throwing the full dartboard. They're like, we don't care anymore. We're throwing everything out the window. Man, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think Lulu is phenomenal here, too. I mean, this champion is just inherently super good, right? I mean, it is so good, just in general. But against this particular Nongshim team, when you can go and buff up your Zeri, I mean, why wouldn't you just slam it here? This is an 80 carries dream. And honestly, if you're a support player, you know, not having to make a lot of big ticket decisions is also good. You saw the coaching staff leave the room. So this room looks uncanny. There's nothing on the walls.
Are they
it's just white.
In the back rooms? Like...
They do. Dude, where's the almond water at? Did they have it anywhere? They're going to be in trouble. I'm up to date on my backrooms lore. I'm a backrooms enjoyer for sure. As we'll see if Nongshim are able to escape the backrooms with this composition, with the way things have been lately. Not sure if they're going to be able to find their way out, Bloxer.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been a very strong BFX roster on a roll. And Nongshim that hasn't really been able to put the right foot forwards quite yet. Still, I like the fact that they've got Calyx on something he can carry on. I like the fact that Gideon as well has got something aggressive. The Kiana's been really strong. Yeah, it's not the full strength Kiana that we saw, but it hasn't been completely gutted. This tournament isn't played on full life patch.
Where's Godguo? Oh, Jesus, what's going on? All right, well, Ju already half HP. Sorry. Yeah, where's Godguo? Godless Guo. Where is he?
He's abandoned us.
God has abandoned us, but we will enjoy it. I think that's what Nongshim is feeling right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, for BFX, a date with D+ may feel a little bit similar too. Still, they are on the verge of making what could have been a 6-game day for them into a potential 4-game day. Very impressive look so far. We'll track through where these junglers are going to be starting and also where the ADCs are. Once again, Nongshim, they are going to go for this little bit of a roam around. They're going to put Ju up into the top lane. I do like that for them in this combo.
Yeah, this is going to benefit Nongshim pretty well early on, provided that Nongshim doesn't actually just, like, somehow lose this 2v2. I mean, like, you're not going to win the 2v2, right? But, like, you just need to not die, and you'll be okay. And, Lehen's not really doing the greatest job of that. Didn't do it in the first game, and is certainly not doing it here to start off with the second game.
Nope. At this point, it's just huge chunks of damage already coming out of the health bars of the Nongshim members. What we need to see, really, is that you're able to just survive early on as Jehu, able to keep things going along enough. You have got your jungler starting on the right side of the map.
I like that.
Already getting chunked down. I love this.
Yeah, delay the Alistar a little bit.
Yeah, he's still not able to go back.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, Kingen is alone, but they're just going to go in between waves here. And Lehen's has to back again. This is really nice job here by Kellen using help picks plus the glitter lands to just force Lehen's to keep backing up. No greedy recalls.
Yeah, and this is the reason that I think we both really were happy to see this Lulu be locked in. It's an amazing defensive tool, of course, right? The wild growth is excellent to just help survive, keep someone alive that has gone a little bit too far in. But also, this champion deals a ridiculous amount of damage early on and could just be so annoying to try to lane into.
I think the really worrisome thing is take a look at Lehen's experience bar. There is none. He is true level 1 with 0 experience. This means that for some of these early fights, he's going to be behind the curve, and an Alistar who's not going to have level 6 for one of these major fights later on is going to be a big deal.
Absolutely, and just pushing people behind as well. It's got to feel good for BFX. They have had themselves such a nice day already that already getting yourself into a dominant position, not having to fight from a deficit as they have had to do quite often.
Are we diving?
I think they are.
Okay. Yeah, we're going for it. King going to get Polymorph here. He flashes away. Kellen taking 2 shots and surviving. And Kingen is down. It's first blood going over to guess who?
Really well executed dive there as well. Kellen starts it off with the polymorph, so there's absolutely nothing that you can do as Kingen, and then just tanks up as many tower shots as he can. Incredibly well executed. Clean dive there from the BFX squad. And now Gideon as well, going to get forced away from this Scuttle Crab. Isn't going to be able to grab that double Scuttle either. And like you said, the gold going to Dabble is exactly what you would have wanted.
It just feels like it's just how the matchup goes, as a wise AD carry player would say. It just feels like it's a scheduled loss for Nongshim, right? I hate to say it this early, but it just feels like there's no fight here. There's no willingness to try and go and get revenge on these guys who ended your season early. You had a chance to at least go and potentially fight for Worlds. You knew that it was probably going to be unlikely, but I mean, you go in and, you know, you are the best team coming out of the worst team coming out of the Legend group, right? But, you know, presumably better than these Rise teams of D+, Kia, BNK, Furex, and OK Brion, right? But you come in here, you win against Brion, you go 3-2, then you get skunked by BNK, and then you get 3-0'd by D+ Kia. Like, that's how they derailed your season. You could have been playing more League that actually meant something.
Yes.
And now you have a chance to go and right your wrongs and feel better about yourselves and go and beat these guys and you just you play this comp. I don't know. I would care more about this if I were them.
It just feels unfortunate. I mean, you get to at least walk away and say, hey, hang on, Calyx might get caught out right here. No,
he gets to walk away and just say, hey.
Okay. Okay, good. You at least get to say at the end of this, we are better, we're all better than any of the LPL teams. We are better than them. And the APAC teams, obviously, but people were less surprised about that one. But being the worst...
All right, here we go. They're going to at least try to make a play down here, and it looks like it's going to be successful. Kellen is going to fall Calyx on this Talia that he's so good at making his first play.
No flash there onto Kellen meant that was pretty much a guaranteed play. Well done from Longshim to be able to get themselves down into that lane. Use that extra roaming power that you've got on Calyx to really just move around the map, stress onto the BFX members to make sure they've constantly got their vision up, constantly know where their opponents are at. While all of that is happening though, Raptor is going to be able to take down this initial Drake. It's going to be an Infernal Drake, again, another one that you like to grab early on as an individual. A little bit of extra on your damage is always going to be nice. And this early game, yeah, it starts off well for BFX, but Nongshim, they're able to pull it back just a little bit. I think the thing that worries me just a tad here for BFX is the fact that it actually has been a very chill early laning phase for Jiwoo. He's been able to farm up slowly but surely, hasn't got a massive lead or anything, but wasn't put under any threat because of that lane swap.
Well, you also have the same for Diablo on the other side, right? I mean, we talked about how this champion, this Zeri, does have a little bit more impact early on. Obviously, Jiwoo, Mom can come through and really do a lot as Diablo used his barrier there to avoid most of the damage on the turret shot. But see, he's going after Kellen here. I really liked this play as Diablo's out of mana and Jiwoo was winning the 2v1. Perhaps I spoke too soon.
Yeah, he seems to be chilling right now, although we say that at the moment
party's over.
We pan over to see everybody on their way down.
Mom comes through, 1 minion left, but Jiwoo dodges out. No, he got caught there. But they're not able to finish him off.
No!
And he killed Diablo. Oh, wait, hold on. Kingen, he's going to heal up a little bit up here. Clear. It's a little low on mana. Here comes Gideon to try to get his buddy out of there. Now he's going to go after Clear. Clear had already flashed and got caught. And Nongshim, wait a minute, they might have some fight left in them.
There we go, that's not anywhere near as well executed of a dive from BFX, and unfortunately in the top side, Clear flashes along the wall. You have to flash away from the wolves while still going back towards your tower to get out alive. Nope, is just going to get caught by that supreme display of talent, and that's going to be a couple kills going on over, and look where the kill gold is. You've got a kill onto that Vladimir, and 2 kills into the back pocket of this Smolder.
And now these grubs are going to be able to be taken by Nongshim. That could be very valuable as the charm will go on to Jiwoo. Vikla doesn't really have anywhere to go. There will be 1 grub going the way of Nongshim, but BFX shows up and elects to take it away. And it's very good for BFX. The Trundle will be able to make a great usage out of these grubs as Vikla's getting chased down by Lehens. He's going to charm Lehens, get out of vision. So headbutt pulverize. He doesn't have ignite. He might be able to stun Vikla. 1 more auto. Vikla flashes away, and Lehens forced to burn his heal.
Ooh, pretty close to that being another potential kill going back over to the side you're not really trying to make happen. Alright, though. He is able to walk this one away. No heal, no flash onto Lehens right now. Although, of course, does still have the spellbook, so we'll see what he's going to grab for himself next. We haven't really got to see any proper team fights yet. The early Drake was sort of just taken. The early Grubs was just a little bit traded back and forth. Nothing too much happening there. Jiwoo getting flanked here.
Okay, yeah, Jiwoo was in big trouble. Mom going to come through, heal him up a little bit. Vikla's got to get close. Wow. He face planted.
Oof, that's a little bit unfortunate right there. Not exactly what we were hoping.
That's Vic LTA right there.
I
know he was an LCS at the time, but
it's a better joke.
It still counts. It still counts.
Hey, so the LTA's got to be better for something, right?
No, actually no.
No, that's fair. No, absolutely not.
No, we don't. This is the last time we're going to ever mention the LTA.
Oh, what joy that is going to be. Alrighty, looking back into this game, it is going to be a little bit of an engage actually from the Hens onto Vikla. No flash,
Once
no
again.
ulti.
Oh, he's dead. Galax is showing up saying, hey, we are going to kill this guy. Galax once again making a play, and Nongshim are rolling over BFX right now early on.
Yeah, I mean, early,
must have heard
this
me.
game has been great. And yeah, we were like, oh, this game's done and dusted. You've already gotten a kill over to Diablo. Who cares? This one's probably going to be a nice 2-0. Now, that could still be the case. We've spoken multiple times about how BFX are pretty bad when it comes to their early map rotations, get caught out quite a lot. And then at some point, 15 to 22 minutes into the game, Diablo really just turns it back on. You find a couple big engages from Killen, potentially, from Raptor, and things can just all of a sudden explode into their favor.
All right, he's already used his pool. Diablo is on the way here. Jet Set radios over the wall.
Goodbye.
And Raptor's going to get the kill. It is a clean dive for BFX.
Really well executed there. Again, so Kingen has kind of been the weak link, the member that you can try to dive onto and get things going on through. It is going to be traded back with this tower down in the bottom side of the map, and that one is going to keep things, I think, yeah, over to Nongshim for those feats, so the extra boots are going to be available to them. That could be useful, you know, a little bit of extra magic resist potentially could be nice.
Dragon going to go over here to Nongshim. Doesn't look like we'll see any contest because everybody's coming out of base, so they will split the Dragons at one apiece as... with the lead that they've built, we appear to be in the Smolder waiting room. He's just got over, no, he's still at 99 stacks. I thought he was going to be at 100 there. Oh, yeah, no, he's at 103. Okay. It was a bit of a late delay on updating the stacks. So 103 stacks right now, just before 12 minutes is not the worst place to be. And maybe we'll start to see some chickens given over to him.
Yeah, potentially. You really do want to get this Smolder stacked up and online as quickly as possible. It's going to be a big win condition, although still, the rest of the Nongshim comp has been working out for them decently well. There's Kiana as well, going to be critical. Once you're trying to play around these fights in these smaller choke points about these objectives, that's where this Kiana can just pop off. The supreme display of talent, so frustrating to try to play against, and if you get a big one off onto multiple members, that can be huge.
Yeah, that is a fight warping, a game warping ultimate when it's good. We'll see if Gideon's going to have any of those. He's 1-0-1. He's got his Profane Hydra. You know, he's going to have quite a bit of damage. And he's up quite a bit of camps on Raptor as well, who, you know, has made a couple of plays, but overall has not been, you know, chopping everything up like you'd expect a Trundle to do.
Yeah, and the early ganks haven't been anywhere near as effective either. A couple dives that have been nice, and that is good. But still, Trundle, I think, one of the most effective gankers in the game, especially when you can pair up alongside an Ahri for an extra charm. You've got plenty of CC in all of these lanes as well, so you could have gone to them, tried to get something going. Instead, has just been more interested in trying to stay even in terms of farm. It is a pretty tricky thing to do. The Kiana can just rip through the jungle, as we have seen. But now, with that Trinity Force completed, is going to be in a nice spot if you can find a member to hit onto. You also talked about how that ulti can be very useful, taking away any of those tanky stats from the Hens. Mid-team fight can be great.
Minute and 30 seconds, a little bit less until the Herald is up as we're going to go target out Calyx here. Nice flash there on the charm. Vikla's going to take another turret shot, but they manage to make the dive happen. Flashes away, but Gideon shows up and is going to turn this one right around on a BFX. Raptor has nowhere to go except back to his base. It is a double kill for Gideon. Clear is just going to be farm stacks for Jiwoo here, as he's going to get more and more and more every time he hits him with abilities.
Oh my. I mean, how many has he gotten off of this? Just one kill as well. The actually kill gold itself is going to go over to Kingen, so maybe that's not quite the ideal. Still, that's now going to be 2 kills onto the Vladimir, 3 onto this Kiana, and this game is going incredibly well here for Nongshim.
And the worst part, and something we didn't talk about, is that how are you going to get to Jiwoo? You don't have any targeted CC for him, not like a Nautilus or anything, you know. I figured that, hey, well, Vikla will be strong enough that he'll be able to just dash to the backside. He can charm Jiwoo, and it's not going to be a problem. Well, we've seen a lot of problems every time Vikla's tried to make a play. It's generally not come without punishment.
No, absolutely not. And I mean, this was always going to be a little bit tough, right? You're playing into the Talia, who can roam across the map a little bit faster, can also just put down that unraveled earth and stop a lot of those dashes from coming on through. It's tough to play out. That being said, though, just constantly getting followed around the map is something you can avoid through just better macro play, but that is something BFX has struggled with, right? This is a young roster.
Harold started up. Lehen's getting beat up by Raptor. He's going to head over to Diablo and pop his ultimate, trying to get away. Mom coming through, doing a little bit of damage. Here comes Vladimir looking for Diablo. Here comes Calyx as well. Raptor forced away, clear with the big ultimate. King healing up, but he's still upright. Diablo gets his kill. Here comes Mikla. They're looking for the big turn, and here it is. Their time to shine. Diablo able to walk away, trying to dodge out on the rocks, and BFX find their fight. Their 80 carry, their stud, finds his triple.
There we go, and the charm gonna land as well.
That's an ace.
Okay, and this is what we were saying, Yanni. This is what we were highlighting. This team, as long as they're not down by 27,000 gold and every objective under the sun at 15 minutes, they can just find that fight, and they do it again. This team are never down and out. You cannot count them as put away until the Nexus explodes. And this play, it's just so well executed from BFX, and it's overextension from Longshim. They are just pushing way too far forwards, and they're so split. One by one, they walk on in, and nobody's able to actually catch onto any of the key members.
Diablo properly waiting, killing Lehens as he gets close to him, and now over on the side, Calyx is like, oh, where do I go? Do I ignore the 80 carry? And Diablo, aggressive flash forward when Calyx had looked him off. That's how he's able to live on such little HP. Absolutely ridiculous. They cannot keep getting away with this, Bloxer.
Apparently they can, Yanni. Apparently they just do keep getting away with this. It's going to be really interesting to see if BFX do go on, if they're actually able to pick up a win here versus D+, because D+ have also had their number the entirety of this year. It's been a rough time for them, so hey, can they? Maybe. It would be very exciting to see. BFX, they're also going to turn around and grab themselves their second Drake of the game. Hextech Soul is on the way. A great Soul to be able to grab, especially on a Zeri. Zeri with Hextech Soul is just so oppressive.
Couple of ultimates on the side of BFX burnt, and that means the Dragon is theirs, and things looking mighty fine now. A 1,400 gold lead in the bot lane for the 80 carry. 700 overall, we'll call it, as Harold is going to come in and get a crash and take that mid turret as well. There'll just be more gold going over to BFX. So Raptor going to claim that one, and now he's on gold parity. 3-1-4. Remember, he had a bit of a slower game, and while he's still down in camps, the gold department is even.
Yeah, he's been able to just keep up, and he had a critical pillar during that team fight that locked Lehens in and made it so that team fight was totally winnable for BFX, and his teammates managed to capitalize upon that. If he's able to keep this one up, Raptor is on for a very nice game indeed. Also, that's now going to be 2 items completed for Diablo. He's going to start working on getting that eye edge into his back pocket, and at that point, I mean, what a rough time it is going to be to try to deal with this guy.
Oh, Gideon takes a big chunk there, and he's going to go in. Double stun coming through. Don't tell me. All right, he does this. No, he dies. Did Raptor killed him with red buff?
It must have been, right? The last little
I didn't even know that Raptor actually tagged him with anything that was red, that was applied to the red buff. All right.
One auto attack on
he got it.
There. Yeah.
That's crazy. Imagine taking the portal, going in, throwing everything you have, burning your flash, and still dying. Tough. Just feels like things maybe have gotten away.
What is he doing?
He is caught. The rest of his team is out there to save him. Oh,
is he?
He got the Lulu ultimate. He's just that crazy. He knew his team was going to show up. An active in play turns into a not in because his team saves the day. He gets another triple kill, man. What more can you say about this kid? He does not care. He is the honey badger of the LCK.
This kid is insane. Rookie of the split for a reason. Rookie of the year for a reason. And he is popping off right here on the international stage. Just such an impressive player to watch. If you are like me and you watched a lot of the LPL this split, but, you know, only tuned into some of the bigger matches for the LCK, weren't able to tune into everything that they had going on, then you didn't know so much about this guy. Well, I hope that you're learning his name, because boy is he going to be fun to watch for the next few years.
This guy is putting on a show here at ASI. 7-1-2. Let's take a look at this replay. God, they're like, hey, we have him. This guy, I don't know, what's their AD carry doing? He's dead on my screen. He's dead on my screen. Guy, wait, hold on. I'm dead on my screen.
Yep. And we've got to keep giving so much credit to Kellen. Hang on, team fight.
Hang on. Oh, my goodness. Oh, God. Look, avert your eyes. Look away if you're a Nongshim fan. Vikla coming through, trying to finish him off, but he can't. But he finds the charm. Jiwoo forced to flash away, but you can't escape Raptor. He flashes the wall. He takes a bite out of crime, and he finds himself a double kill. Now he's got to escape Kingen, though. Turret shots, not enough to actually kill him.
He's rolling right there.
Godguo knows.
Godguo knows.
Firmly, it's not even close. He's on that wall. He said, wall-to-wall BFX in 2.
Hell yeah, he knows what's up. We missed the start of this fight, so let's have a look back at what began it. Good flash timing right there out of Dabble. Man has the faster fingers as well, then straight over the wall. The second that initial engage misses, I think everybody here watching knows exactly what's about to happen. This man doesn't know the meaning of going back, of letting a fight happen to him. Nah, steps forwards. But still, Raptor, again, we were highlighting him earlier. What an impressive game he's been able to have on this Trundle 2. Quiet during the early game, but the second that 15 minutes hit, both him and Diablo just came alive.
These damn Zoomers, man. Diablo is just going crazy. But yeah, Raptor certainly having a game for himself. Having getting a little bit of shine in that last fight as well, and now they're going to try to target out Calyx here. He's been slowed up, caught with another charm. Vikla was missing so many of them earlier, but it feels like he's locked on. Drew 11, get on this man. It might be a problem. Check him PC.
Mid game turning on your aimbot would be crazy.
He's toggling.
What's more likely is that Vikla, hey, he's feeling himself. The rest of the team coming alive too. That's actually going to be the Bloodthirster completed, not the Eye-Edge as the next pickup for Diablo. He wants to be able to survive in and amongst all of the members of Nongshim for even longer. And this game feels like it's almost as good as done. Nongshim, they're going to have to find a bit of a miracle to get back into this one.
A bit. They're going to need a large miracle.
Major miracle.
This is what we said what could potentially be a problem, right? You know, Smolder at this point in time is fully stacked. It's 22.5 minutes. But look at his items. He's got 2 items. He was able to get a couple of kills early. He was able to, you know, pick up an assist. The CS is fine. But again, we were wondering, like, oh, is there going to come a point in time where he's on 2 items, and then you take a look, and you look at the other side and say, uh-oh, Diablo's got 4K gold lead again. And that's exactly what happened.
Every single time. It feels like you cannot put this man far enough into a hole ever.
Vikla,
you might be able to put into a hole.
Okay, yeah, Vic. Oh, wait. Is he alive?
Never mind.
Oh my God,
wait.
He got the speed up from the Foxfire, and now Nongshim is dead. This is unfortunate for them. Yeah. Kellen doing what he can. Oh my God, it's just a 1v1. It's like, get him, Kellen. Get him. Run him down, Kellen. You better get this kill, Kellen. Okay. Raptors.
There we go. Still, it's going to be the kill. It's going to be 3 quick kills, and Vikla was able to get away. Every single thing that Nongshim are throwing at BFX, they are able to counter. And unfortunately, that's what happens when your stacked up Smolder is off. Farming red buff. Taking these jungle camps right here. Vikla is getting chased back into his own base right now by Kingen, but I don't think that's really going to be the end of the world, because look at what the push is happening in the top lane. There's a decent shove in the mid lane too. Not going to be the base cracked open at this point, Yanni. You know, there's still a chance for Nongshim.
I mean, they do have good scaling. We have talked about that. They do have it. It's there. I just don't know if they're actually going to get it. Kingen's going to die again. It's only his 3rd death. Okay, his 4th death. I'm sorry. I see the delay on, you know, the feed. A little delayed. My eyes, I'm old. You know, it happens.
Ooh.
Heck, I couldn't remember that Trundle existed a couple of fights ago. You know, this is what happens when you get old blocks. Okay.
It's all right. It's all right. What I can see very clearly in 4K currently is the fact that Diablo has completed the 4th item, and that is going to be the Eye-Edge that I thought was going to come a little bit earlier on. So he's going to be healing. He's going to be hitting like a truck. I think the next person to walk into this brush might be dead.
The next person on Nongshim specifically. Because I think
Yes.
if BFX walk into that, it's totally fine. Baron up in 15 seconds. It's going to be time to put Grandpa to bed. It's me. I'm Grandpa. I want to go to sleep after this one. Come on. It's time, BFX. Like, listen, this game is a 10K gold lead. I'm going to call it like it is, man. Calyx, all right, he's up against the wall, and he's got nowhere to go. He flashes over to Gideon, actually. He did have one place to go. It's not productive, but he did have somewhere to go.
Yeah, he's at least not dead. Can potentially get back to base. Has the teleport available if they want to go and try to...
Oh, Kingan walking forward. Hold on. We throw everything at Diablo, and he still lives somehow, man. But this time it's Vikla getting the shine. Triple kill. The quarter kill got stolen. We could have seen a potential penta, but Clear said, hey, listen, I wanna get a kill, man. 1, 2, and 13. Listen, he's your scion. He deserved it. Let him get it. As
I think the Raptor wins this fight.
Yeah. Hold on. Supreme display of talent.
Okay. Good
the pillar slows him up. It's a very, very angry Trundle. Oh, Gideon dashes over the wall, and he escapes.
Hey,
or does he? Oh no, the chase is on. The chase is on. Okay, Raptor. Where is Gideon?
The observers know that we don't care about
Hold
the game.
Hold on, no, wait, what are we doing? Hey, he's found him. He found him. Is he actually gonna kill him? Can we go back to this? I want to see. I think he's gonna get him. Chomp him. He got him. There we go.
Hey.
Good job. Well done. Good job there.
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay. What a
2-0.
game. What a series.
2-0.
2-0 right here from BFX. I mean, they have been on a roll today. We talked a little bit at the top of the day, like, hey, does playing these 2 games back-to-back hurt you? Are you going to be a little bit tired by the end? Well, I guess if you make it a 4-game set, it's less than a best of 5 can go to. Absolutely chilling right here from BNK FearX. They are monsters, and I cannot wait to watch them play tomorrow versus D+.
That should be fun. I want to see a Diablo Legacy series, perhaps. I would really like to see something like that come through. A dominating win. Hey, Jiwoo did some really good damage in those fights. He had a lot of good AoE, chunking people out for a while, but I mean, the game just kind of passed him by. It felt like so many times things were happening, and Jiwoo just isn't around to try to help, try to force BFX away, and ultimately, in a 26-minute game, BFX won, and this was a game that, you know, after the start that was so good for BNK FearX, Nongshim took a lead, and then we're like, hey, you know, Nongshim might be able to just ride this one out, take it home, and in the blink of an eye, like, this game just got way out of hand. It was that fight, that one fight that did it, that one ace up on the top side that just turned the game over, Bloxer.
And it's every time from BFX. They're down, they're getting pushed around. Oh my god, you managed to kill Diablo a couple of times. Everybody panic. No, don't panic. Just chill. I wouldn't be worried about this team until the Nexus literally explodes in front of your eyes, and even then, I feel like they could somehow come back from that one. This team are crazy at mounting a comeback, and it was this. We talked about how the pillar was critical. You see it right here. Lehens just gets caught for way too long, and then it's one by one. Lemmings off a cliff right here, just stepping up. Diablo is just going to be able to take them all out, and it's such a rough situation to be in as Nongshim, because every time you get ahead, you just get pulled straight back down. It feels like BFX, they are excellent at just fighting in these scrappy situations.
And for Nongshim, a year that started out so well, that got progressively worse and worse and worse, ends with a whimper. They had a chance for a revenge tour to go beat the teams that beat up on them. You know, it was a golden opportunity to be able to do so, and in a tournament where, you know, obviously we've seen teams have some interesting picks, have certainly been in good spirits rather than super serious mode. Again, you know, these are professional League of Legends players. They do have a lot of pride. You can see it in any solo queue game that people have pride when they play this game. And just knowing that, you know, it's another loss on your record, another loss to end the year, the bad taste in the mouth. I'm sure that at least a couple of Nongshim members, definitely a lot of Nongshim fans, are going to feel that exact way, Bloxer. And for BNK FearX, it's their time, baby. Let's go. They can go and get it done.
And this tournament, as much as we keep saying it's for fun, there's a lot of pride in a lot of these teams, as you've said. There's also some money on the line. There's some decent prize pool money coming through for the winners of this tournament too, so you really do want to be winning this one. To get into the finals is going to be huge. To get another shot up against D+ is going to be massive as well, and this is a D+ that have looked so strong. They were able to get out of their group, not top of their group, they did lose to Weibo, so they were second, but once they got themselves into the playoffs, they've just been able to completely roll through. I'm not surprised that Diable's going to pick himself up a player of the game right here. He has been an absolute monster so far. If you don't care about D+ and you don't care about BFX, you should care about this man. This is a name that people should start learning now before he's all over our screens at internationals in the next couple years.
And I'm super excited for that moment, Bloxer. BNK Fear X, they were knocked out of the season playoffs in the LCK by D+ Kia, 3-1. Now they will get one more best of 5 against that team to try and right their wrongs. That will do it for us here today. But before we go, we're going to give a big shout out to our Elite Coffee supporters, Aaron Soup, Mung, Forest Without, and owners of a Silmaril, because their pledged financial contributions help level up the broadcast to give back to the cast and crew to strive to give you an English LPL product every single day. And there is one more day of English LPL product, even though it's 2 LCK teams. Tomorrow, 4 a.m. is our call time, I believe, for Eastern time. I don't know what time we're actually starting again. We're starting mad early, mad late. I don't know, man. But tomorrow we have games. Show is live at 3:30 a.m. PST, so that's 6:30 a.m. EST. And if you're in a different time zone, whatever, you can figure it out yourself.
It's like 11:30 in the morning over in the UK.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be Alk Battery and Mazel on the broadcast to take us out. That does it for us here today. Thank you all so much for watching. For myself, for Bloxer, for Alk Battery behind the scenes, and the entire LPL English family, we thank you all for being with us here today. We hope to see you tomorrow for some more ASI action.